Good morning. We request you to get seated. Kindly switch off your mobile phones or turn them on silent, please. So, a very, very warm welcome to everybody to the 4th National Conference on Social Innovation. It's so wonderful to have all of you here. We're going to have a string of excellent innovators lined up for you all, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the session. Let us begin with the first segment. I'd like to hand over the microphone and the dais to our director, Mr. Prashant Girbane. He'll be introducing the dignitaries to you all.
Wow, what a great pleasure to see you all here. Next time, possibly, sir, we'll have to go to a couple of other places in Deccan to make sure that everyone gets a place to sit there, and we'll certainly take that into account. It's my great pleasure to stand here. Certainly, thank you, sir. It's a great pleasure to stand here and introduce you to this August gathering. Before I introduce the dignitaries on the dais, as a usual practice, sir, Dr. Amte, may I introduce the audience to you? In the audience today, we have social innovators coming from 7 different states. We have an awardee of the Anjani Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Award who would be receiving this award today and who will speak with us. In the audience, we also have representatives of CSR from some of the top corporate brands in the country. In the audience, we have members of Pune International Center and many, many Punekars and those even outside Pune who have deep interest in this topic. Moving from that, introducing you to the dignitaries on the dais. I know it's very little that you need in terms of introduction there, but let me try. Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, chair of the session today. I'm not going to talk about the boards he sits on or the awards that he has received, because that's 1 hour session if I start talking about it. There are 50 of those or a little more than that. Starts all the way even before the Bhatnagar Award in 1982. I was just born then. All the way 2 years ago, the Padma Vibhushan. And in between, the Fellow of Royal Society and many, many other global awards and memberships of societies. Many of you know him more as warrior of Haldi Ghati. Many of you heard of the whole discussions on IP of Haldi and the war of wisdom between India and rest of the countries on the patent case. Of course, his connection with innovation goes as far as many referring to him as Mr. Innovation in the country, because it goes back to NCL, National Chemical Laboratory, where he was director, CSIR, where he was director general, and various other corporate houses to whom he guides on social innovations and inclusive innovations along with their corporate innovations. Someone asked me, if it's going to take your day, here is a test. Why don't you introduce Dr. Mashelkar to us in a line? Biased that I am as a director of PIC, I said he is president of Pune International Center. That's a 1-line introduction. Thank you, sir. It's also a great pleasure and honor to introduce to you Dr. Vikas Amte, chief guest today. Before I introduce the chief guest, here's a quick question. How many of you know of Anandwan? Just raise a hand. Wow. So why do I need to introduce you to Dr. Amte? But you know what? This honor I can't miss, so please allow me to indulge for a couple of minutes. It is difficult, as you know, to live up to legacy of a person of the stature of Baba Amte. But Dr. Vikas Amte has not only preserved it, he has rather enhanced it in many, many ways. Many of you would know that Dr. Vikas Amte is Secretary and Chief Functionary of Maharogi Seva Samiti, and he is Administrator of Anandwan. He is an MBBS doctor, as you would know, and world-known leprosy right activist. But let me add a couple of things specific to today's program. Dr. Vikas Amte, as the social innovator, there are more than 40 enterprises that are run in Maharogi Seva Samiti in Anandwan. More than 40 enterprises. As Mr. Gambhire, who came along with Dr. Amte, was telling me, just the chappals that they made, they sold chappals worth 80 lakh rupees just last year. All of them made by the inmates of Maharogi Seva Samiti. And there are 40 of these. It will be another session to talk about each of those and the implications that it has. There is a whole lot on environment, there is a whole lot on enterprise. But there is one specific thing I must mention. Whole lot of focus right from Baba Amte to Dr. Vikas Amte has been to build the capability to ensure the sustainability. The awards are numerous, and many of you would know of these awards, but I should mention a couple of those specifically. And the awards that Dr. Vikas Amte would mention, that they all are on behalf of the MSS or Dr. Baba Amte. And that's how we would like us to mention those, and none of those connected, none of those personally to him is how he would want us to mention them. The Damian Ditton Award from USA in 1983, highest international award in the field of leprosy. Raman Magsaysay Award in 85, United Nations Human Rights Award for outstanding achievement in the field of human rights. International Giraffe Award in 1989, the Templeton Prize. Could you guess it? This one is priced highest, and all of the proceeds of that went to the MSS long time ago in 1990. The Global 500 United Nations Environment Program Award, Right Livelihood Award from Sweden, which is popularly called Alternate Nobel Prize for Environment, International Gandhi Peace Prize in 99, again Raman Magsaysay Award in 08, and Innovative Energy Project of the Year. Just to make sure that there is a whole lot more to it than what I'm able to talk about here, there are copies of the book written on Anandvan that have been distributed among the social innovators. We'll try to see if we could cover some more on the counter outside. We also have with us on the stage Mr. Jayant Umranikar, who is chairman of International Longevity Center India, who is associated with the Anjani Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Award, which will be given today. Mr. Umranikar is an IPS officer of 1973 batch. He has served in various positions during his career, including CP of Commissioner of Police of Nagpur and Pune. He headed anti-Naxalite operations, and he retired as Director General of Police Maharashtra Special Operations. He is master of many languages and has worked in Africa, Asia, and Europe as an expert on terrorism, nuclear issues, and Islamic fundamentalism. Talking of the social causes that he's connected with, there are many to mention here. But I must mention of the van service that he started in Nagpur decades before the ambulance network started in Maharashtra on behalf of the state government. Mr. Umranikar is chairman of ILC India, and as I mentioned, that's how he's associated with the Anjani Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Award that will be given today. It's been my great pleasure introducing the dignitaries on the dais. May I now request Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, President PIC and President of ILC India.
Chief guest of today's function, most respected Vikas Amte, Chairman of ILCI, Shri Jayant Umranikar, my colleagues from PIC and ILCI, Prashant Girbani and Anjali Rajay, distinguished participants in this fourth National Conference on Social Innovation, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great evening. We have been having these national conferences. This is the fourth one, but never saw something like this. I love this, absolutely love this. I'm sorry some of you have to stand, but it's a great feeling. You know, Thomas Alva Edison has always said you can always do it better. And I think, Prashant, we are doing better and better and better. I think that's great. I feel really very happy, very proud. I want to extend a very warm welcome to you all, and I do so on behalf of Pune International Center, National Innovation Foundation, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, International Longevity Center of India. We have been holding these national conferences. Aye, please come, please. We have been holding these national conferences on different themes. Last year, for example, we had the theme as education, health, and livelihood. At the end of each conference, we listen very carefully to the responses that we get and try to learn from them and do better. And last year, we had an echo of a particular sentiment that, look, are we really looking at people who are really excluded, who are far-flung, like tribals, for example? And therefore, this year, our theme has been on tribal, rural, and urban innovations. And when you talk about a subject like that, one cannot think of a better chief guest than respected Dr. Vikas Amte. Already Prashant has done a terrific job of introducing him. All that I would say is that he has been championing the cause of disabled and disadvantaged sections of the society with such a deep commitment. And I must also say that his innovative rehabilitation means his new development strategies, the sustainable technologies, etc., they add so much value to those who are excluded. Prashant mentioned about Anand-1. To me, Anand-1 is a paradigm shift in social innovation. In fact, it has been an experimental ground, if you like, for innovation, getting those that are excluded included, and most importantly, those that are excluded, not giving them a charity, but giving them a chance. I think that's a major differentiator. Restoring the dignity of those who are socially excluded. And the key words which I like most are self-help, self-respect, and selfless service. So here we have an exemplar in terms of an institution like Anand-1, exemplar on social innovation, and here we have an exemplar as a leader of leaders among the social innovators. So Vikas Rao, thank you very much. We are very, very grateful to you that you so kindly accepted to be here. As Prashant mentioned to you, we have a number of enterprises and their representatives on corporate social responsibilities. And I will not take all names, but from Tata to Mahindra to JSW Steel, from Kirloskar to Praj to KPIT, from Reliance to ONGC, we have them all here. And I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart. You know, I'm a compulsive Twitterati, if you like. I keep on tweeting, and yesterday I tweeted something without realizing the significance of it for today's function. And the tweet you must have seen, some of you must have seen, is give without remembering and take without forgetting, basically. That's very important in life. And I believe that is the spirit today in this thing. So I think it's all about giving and taking, the corporate social responsibility from the corporate world, and the social innovators, 19 of them, by the way, they will be sort of speaking to you. I am also happy to say that in this opening session, we begin with also an award, which is Inclusive Innovation Award. And why inclusive innovation? Because we always said that this conference on social innovation is all about creating an inclusive society, an inclusive India. And social innovation inclusion can be done by many means, and one of them is technological. As a scientist and technologist, I feel that can be one of the powerful instruments. So this award, this is the 6th award, Anjani Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Award. Anjani Mashelkar was my mother. She passed away on this very day, 17 November in 2006, almost a decade ago. But although it has been a decade, I still feel her presence here, I must say, basically, in spirit. I so the basic uh, background to this award is that she always told me, you're a scientist, do something for the poor, use your science for the poor. So in her memory, we created what is called as a inclusive innovation award, including those that are excluded by using technological innovation. And this year's award winner, he will come on the stage very soon, Mir Shah, young Mir Shah. You will find that he has done something which is most extraordinary. And there are three criteria that we use for this award, by the way. And he satisfies all of them. What is the first one? I'm not a great believer in best practice. After all, when you say best practice, you are copying somebody's practice. I'm a believer in the next practice, basically. You know, we must learn to pole vault, leapfrog to sort of the next practices. You will find that he has done that. The second is, I love contradictions in terms. For example, if I talked about affordable excellence, you would say rubbish. What is affordable can't be excellent. What is excellent can't be affordable. I'm sorry, India has demonstrated it again and again, and you will see Meher, as a matter of fact, showing to you how affordable excellence can be reached. The third is making high technology work for the rich, very easy. Making low technology work for the poor, very easy. But making high technology work for the poor, very difficult. Meher has done it, as you will soon discover. And the other contradiction is, can we have access equality despite income inequality? That itself is a contradiction, Meher, right? And you have provided that, all right? So these are the four great characteristics of this award. One more thing I'd like to say about this award is, now this is not an award where we have a distinguished chief guest giving away the awards, the photographs, click, following day, reports in newspaper, and then we just forget. No. Because invention has to be converted into innovation. Innovation is a successful exploitation of a new idea in practice, in the field. So we must complete the journey from mind to marketplace. So what we do is that the awardee, we hold his hand and try to help him to take this forward so that finally it can make a difference to the society. Last year's awardee, you will remember Rahul Rastogi. Just to recapitulate for those who did not attend, I'll take a couple of minutes to sort of explain what he did and where we are today. Rahul, his father had a challenge with some heart issues. And in the middle of the night, he had to take him to a hospital to take ECG, a couple of kilometers away. And then you lie down and the leads and the rest of it. Now he's an electronic genius, and he said, my God, why do I have to do that? Why can't I create something which I can carry in my pocket? A portable ECG, right? The size of a, and he created one. When the award was presented to him, it was 6 lead, by the way, all right? Accurate, but almost accurate, all right? And the way it will work is that you will download an app that he had he would be giving free on your smartphone, for example. And then, as a matter of fact, you will be taking that, and then there will be points here where you will be touching, basically including the thumbs, 15 seconds each, and within 3 minutes, the ECG will be in the hand of the smartphone holder, maybe your practitioner. Cost, not 300 rupees, 3 rupees per ECG. And that's what I mean by affordable excellence. I'm a 10x guy, 10 times better, but 10 times cheaper, and hopefully 100 times better, all right? That's what he achieved, as a matter of fact. It was still a concept. And I remember going to Tata Trust, making a presentation on that, because he wanted to create Sanket. It is called Sanket, by the way, Sanket 2.0. And I still remember after that presentation, within 48 hours, Tata Trust gave 48 lakhs to take that forward, basically. And he has now a new version, basically, that has been done. Not only that, there is what is called as a Gen Next Ventures. There is an accelerator that we have where for young people like that, you know, we create a business plan for them, create business models, and take them through. We took him through that basically. The point I'm trying to make is that he's now on the verge of becoming a successful sort of entrepreneur where all of you can have a benefit. Of course, you can still buy Sanket, by the way. If you go to Amazon and say Amazon Sanket, you can actually order it today, all right? But that is the difference that we want to make. So in summary, what I'm saying is that, because what we are saying is, we'll not only honor these, this is the sixth one, basically, but in each case, we have tried to hold hand with them and take them forward. So that is the gist of the award. Once again, I want to thank you all for being here, extend a very warm welcome. You will have fascinating talks by 19 social innovators, by the way. And you know, one of the social innovators is going to be a 9th standard student. And another one is going to be the tribal chief. You can see I'm trying to create more excitement, anticipation, but you can see what the day forward is like for you. I do hope that this will be a fulfilling day for you. You will find new ideas, share new ideas. You'll create new contacts. You'll find a new meaning in life, our own, in others, and take those few steps to create a better world, because finally, our entire effort on holding these national social innovation summits are to ensure that through social innovation, we create a better, inclusive society, a better world, a better India. Thank you.
I welcome you all to the Anjali Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Award distribution ceremony for the year 2016. As Dr. Mashelkar has informed us, this award has been instituted in the name of his late mother, who played a stellar role in shaping his life. The objective of inclusive innovation is to harness sophisticated science and technology know-how to invent, design, produce, and distribute high-performance technologies at prices that can be afforded by the majority of the people, including the poor and the old. Such innovations would aim to solve problems that need to be solved more so than problems that can be solved, as Dr. Mashelkar rightly believes. I will now be reading out the citation for the Anjali Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Award winner for the year 2016. In 2015, breast cancer replaced cervical cancer as the leading cause of cancer deaths among women in India. In our country alone, almost 200 million women aged 35 to 55 do not undergo necessary annual breast examinations, which could potentially save their lives. Late stage detection is the main reason behind breast cancer deaths. UE Life Sciences has worked tirelessly since 2009 to develop breakthrough technology that has the potential to dramatically improve the accessibility and the affordability of breast cancer screening. Their device, called the iBreast Exam, uses innovative sensor and material technology combined with software computing to accurately identify cancerous lesions and tumors. Thanks to the portable, radiation-free and non-invasive device, the screenings are safe, pain-free, and private. UE Life Sciences has also proposed an innovative pay-per-use model instead of targeting direct sales, which will allow doctors in every corner of the country to start screening women for breast cancer at the earliest. The device is approved by the prominent US FDA and has been successfully used on the ground to test thousands of women and save countless lives. It is our privilege to present the 2016 Anjali Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Award to UE Life Sciences. I request Mr. Mihir Shah to accept this prestigious award on its behalf. Please. I now request the chairman of ILCI, Mr. Jayant Umranikar, to present the check of rupees 1 lakh to Mr. Mihir Shah. To present a floral tribute to Mr. Shah. You want a photo of the Take a photo. Yeah, I request all the dignitaries and Mr. Mihir Shah to please pose for a photograph.
Thank you so much. And what an honor, what a privilege, what a happy day. My whole UE Life Sciences team is here, and I share this with you. My family is here, dad and mom. Thank you for all the sacrifices, all the things that you've given up on to let me have an amazing education, to inspire me throughout life to strive for better, to go out and achieve whatever that I and the team is capable to achieve. So I'd like to make a brief presentation, talk about our journey and what we are doing, share our work with you all. This forum, this recognition directly translates our core beliefs, our passion, our drive on days when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. As a venture, as an entrepreneurial journey, it does get tough at times. It is my amazing pleasure to tell you all that Amte sir, this innovation has been to Anandwan before I'm on this stage. We've actually conducted a screening camp at Anandwan, I believe more than 9 or 10 months ago. Don't think there is anything in the world like that. It's a beacon light of inspiration to everyone in this room and around the world. So I've titled my talk as Be the Change, the famous line from Mahatma Gandhi ji. And I think that the virtues of being the change emerge from these 4 words that I hold very dear. The first one is inspiration. And Mashelkar sir, your work, your words have been pure inspiration for me personally, and I know many of our team members. The second one is collaboration, and I think this is the most important word if you're going to go farther, as Mr. Ratan Tata often says, go together, go farther. Third is dedication, and this is, there is no shortcut, there is no other way around it. And the last one is compassion, that we must all hold in our hearts if you mean to create an impact. So let's talk about some of the staggering numbers, just so that you understand the enormity of the issue and why I and my team decided to do what we are doing today. Yes, breast cancer is the most common women's cancer around the world and the reason for most number of cancer-related deaths globally. But India actually is leading the chart, unfortunately. We lose more women to breast cancer than any other country in the world now. And it's not by a small margin, it's a fairly significant margin. And what's more so concerning is that more than 50% of those women are under 50 years of age. So these are active, contributing members of society on whom the entire family is dependent. And the incidence rate has now reached 1 in 25. See how many women in this room. 1 in 25 women are now getting breast cancer in their lifetime. And the survival rate is a meager 50%. That means half the women that get breast cancer do not survive. So in a country of 1.3 billion, we are looking at 1 crore women that are unfortunately going to meet with this disease and die from it if nothing is done. So these are the dire straits, the reason why I got involved. I have a personal story. My wife is here in the audience, and her mother has been diagnosed with breast cancer 10 years ago, the year we got married. And when I looked around, I realized that there were 10 other women in my friends and family circles that had breast cancer. And I don't know any other disease that is so rampant in my family. So the biggest issue is that less than 1% of Indian women have access to early detection of any kind when it comes to breast cancer. And so these are some of the unfortunate reasons. we have one radiologist per 1 lakh people in India compared to 1 per 4,000 in a country like United States. And if you want to make use of a very painful modality, a radiation-based modality like mammogram, you need these doctors that we don't have. The test, because it uses radiation, is not very accurate and usable or efficacious for younger women who have dense breasts, because their dense breast tissue does not allow the X-rays to penetrate through it. And finally, the test is expensive. The cost of a typical mammogram and in the operational cost combined, you're looking at least 1,000 to 2,500 rupees per test. So it's expensive, we don't have the doctors, and it's not highly efficacious, while we are having 1 crore women at risk. So we asked ourselves a question, what if? What if there was a way to flip the entire equation upside down? What if we could make a device, a technological solution that could make a quantum leap to make early detection possible? So the device would have to be usable by health workers, a community health worker like ASHA worker or an A&M. What if the device could be not just low cost, but as Mashelkar sir says, ultra low cost? What if it was quick and painless so that every woman would feel confident to step forward for such a test? It had to have accuracy as good as the gold standard, like the mammogram. But it also had to be battery powered. It had to work for hundreds of hours in the field. And there were lots of other engineering challenges that we thought of that would have to be in place for it to really create a new standard of care. And this design challenge was not just engineering, but also one of inclusive innovation, because we had to design for both of these women, the one in rural areas as well as urban areas, something that would be scalable. And what we've come up with, ladies and gentlemen, is this instrument called iBreast exam. I have the device here with me. So the entire device fits in this little box, and I'd like to show you how the device works on the background while I physically demonstrate the equipment as well. If you can just please play the video. So as you can see on the screen, the device is absolutely portable. This is the scanner that goes on the breast, and as being shown on the screen, goes from location to location, looking for breast lesions and lumps. And here's a tablet. We all are familiar with this platform, where the results come live instantaneously. And just in a matter of a few seconds, few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, the breast exam is complete. It's completely painless, completely radiation free, and a woman of any age can take this exam. The science behind this technology is based on the fact that breast lesions are stiff, they are hard. And if you have a sensor that can pick up this hardness, this lump, then you'd by effect have a mobile solution, a mobile health solution that can go anywhere. And that's what we've done. This is a cross-sectional view of the device, which shows you the piezoelectric tactile sensors. It's a patented technology with multiple patents in the US and a whole bunch of global patents pending, which can detect these minute changes in tissue stiffness. So in a way, the concept was very simple. The journey was very hard. This is our design principle. And famous words from, again, Mashelkar sir, more from less for more. And we look at this both from technological standpoint, where we wanted to devise a technology the way I described, painless, quick, radiation-free, mobile, but also a business model that was going to be inclusive in nature, that would allow a CSR initiative or a non-profit organization or even a small governmental entity like a municipal corporation or a state government to adopt the technology, and not just for Apollo hospitals and these big chains and private setups. And that's what we've been able to do with iBreast exam. Just to give you an example, in the current scenario, if you make an investment towards a mammography van, yes, you can do awareness and screening and reach about 15,000 women for that given cost. And it's pretty high cost. But for that same cost, you can reach 100,000 women with iBreast exam. And not just that, you can actually do diagnosis for 5,000 women and do complete treatment for 50 women that would be diagnosed with breast cancer. And till you don't close that loop from awareness to treatment, there's pretty much no point getting involved in this business. So enabling impact requires closing the loop in pretty much every sector of the community where you're going to provide this solution. I'd like to give you a stellar example, something that gives me a lot of joy and pride to talk about. This is a picture from Shodh Ashram, Mashelkar sir, in Gadchiroli. And I'm proud to say, I'm happy to say that the state of Maharashtra, along with a CSR initiative called Empathy Foundation, are enabling eye breast exam to reach 2.5 lakh women today across Maharashtra. As I stand here before you, every state medical college today is going to be screening women with eye breast exam. This program just started about a month ago. We screened about 4,000 women, and 15 women were identified with early stage breast cancer, and few of them have already gone for treatment. That is success if we are going to make this work. So we are working with a variety of stellar organizations and people who are advising us, who are helping us, who are holding our hands to making sure that this commercializes in a way that is affordable, scalable, sustainable, so that you change the needle on the burden of breast cancer. And I hope that with our innovation and our hard work, we are able to do that in the coming months and years. I'd like to once again give a shout out to a few people by name who have made this journey possible to date and who are continuing to be the fuel behind this fire. I'd like to say thank you to Bhaumik Sanghvi, who's in the stage today. Who's on the crowd today. Bhaumik, without your unwavering, unfaltered, no paycheck related stint with me for the last decade or so, thank you very much for standing behind me. An entrepreneur, a visionary, a successful venture does not happen without tremendous support like the one Bhaumik has provided. The other is my partner and co-founder, Matthew Campisi, who's not here today amongst us. He lives in New York, and his presence here is dearly missed by me. But without his amazing technological prowess, this wasn't possible. I believe we should have Mr. Satish Gokhale in the stage, in the crowd as well, who runs a, Satish bhai, Mr. Satish runs a design firm in Pune called Design Directions that has made industrialization of this amazing technology possible. Thank you. I would like to thank Dr. Shekhar Kulkarni. I don't know if Dr. Sir could make it. Hello, sir. Without your hard work, without your clinical validation support, along with that of Astha, which are both, Dr. Shekhar Kulkarni and Astha are both, again, Pune-based individual and organizations that have taken eye breast exam to thousands of women in and around Pune, to underprivileged women, and have again closed the loop by providing them with treatment. I hope I'm not forgetting many other people. I'd like to conclude my conversation once again with a big thank you to Bakulesh Shah and Naina Shah, my dear parents, without whom this wasn't possible ever. Thank you.
I'm sure that this eye breast examination will definitely be a path-breaking innovative technology that will change the world of diagnostic sciences. I now request, it is indeed an honor to have with us as our chief guest, Dr. Vikas Amte, the social crusader who's been fighting for the cause of the socially disadvantaged and the excluded. I request you, sir, to address the audience.
Namaskar, good morning, everyone. I'm not used to be on this side. I'm always on that side. And it would have been my pleasure to be amongst you. I do know few people here, but I always believed in dialogue. My father coined a new word, polylogue. It's not in the dictionary. So he said, it's a Centers for Social Action. Let there be concerted effort by the concerned people for the common cause. And he started that in around 1983, 84. So people from all walks of life can come together and bridge the gap between obscene richness and obscene poverty. Both are obscene. At the outset, let me pay my humble homage to your late Anjanitai for producing such a nice product. And I've been hearing about him, and I couldn't believe in the morning that he walked into my room. Dev माझ्या घरी आला अशी माझी भावना होती. And I'm really thrilled to meet a lot of people here. It's a new gathering for me. And I talked to Prashant yesterday. It's a wedlock between innovators and the CSR. But I'm born in 1947. Nation was also born in 1947. Institution was also born in 1947. But I open my eyes, I see either my parents or a participation walking from all parts of India. I'm sure you too have people who are from many parts of India, which my father called it the human deluge, human quake, social tsunami. To this date, our institution has dealt with 9.5 lakhs of leprosy patients alone. And my father had different movements. He had 3 distinct movements. We dealt with about 2.6 millions of rejected, dejected, and ejected people. It's a phenomenal number. But I'm born with such a notion that I represent the last and the least in the society. So after 70 years, I have every right to come out and tell people the untold stories of the Ekalavya. Ekalavya was the first, perhaps, the entrepreneur on this planet. Okay? Because he was self-taught and self-built. So P.L. Deshpande, who used to come there for 35 years, he says it is Ekalavya Vishwavidyalaya, it's an Ekalavya University. And my father was a lawyer. Obviously, he was called a cruel, criminal, unscientific, and so on. I loved my father. He was a criminal. He returned all the national awards. He was not a saint. He was not a spiritual Baba. But he made the first CSR, the leprosy patients. So leprosy patients were our first CSR. The leprosy patients were walking alone since pre-biblical period. And they decided to walk together. So it never happened in the human history. They helped the blind, the visually challenged, the physically challenged, the socially challenged. They started Hemalkasa. The first CSR is leprosy patient, don't forget that. And of course, my father was second CSR. He donated over 5 crores from his various awards, but he never liked his awards or pictures in front of his eyes. The place where we were born, by virtue of that, we never invited anyone. We never felicitated anyone. We never held press conference. So he said it is the dirtiest possible place on this planet. People are not there by choice. Given a choice, they'll be back with their own people, not stay with me. So Anandvan Band Karna हमारा day 1 से mission है. We are very clear in direction, reason, logic and purpose. It's the dirtiest place on this planet. Nobody wants to be challenged, nobody wants to be a beggar, nobody wants to be a leprosy patient. So how to send them back? So I had to become a doctor, not by choice. And I'm sure nobody likes to go to a doctor. Everybody yearns for health. No doctor also would like to go to a doctor. Health is a holistic approach. So I decided to challenged my father. He said, it's a public trust, you do your own job. He was my worst enemy. So how to send them back, how to strategize to send these people back from all parts of India except Tamil Nadu, Kerala, up Kashmir. And they live together. The Fellowship of Pain has no caste, creed, region, or religion, or international frontiers. I met the gentleman from Holland yesterday, the first person visiting from your nation in 1953. She's still alive, Dr. Henriette. I'll talk to you about it later on. So Anandwan is the dirtiest possible place on this planet, which my father called a social prison or a voluntary prison. And for that reason, I am the jailer of one of the world's largest social prisons, so I'm never invited. So I'm invited by Pradeep Lokhande, and I wasn't sure that what it was up to when Prashant described this function. म्हणून मी त्यांना म्हटलं की मी दुसऱ्या कळपात आहे. This is altogether different world. Yes, but I'm proud to be amongst you because I represent the last in the society. They are the innovators. And this is the common cause, because I would love to meet my other fellow innovators. And I make a plea to all of you. Give them a chance, not charity. So I coined a new word, chancity. It's not in the dictionary again. So, and they are all your relations, your villages. They died unsung, unmourned, unwept. Believe me, there is only one ration card, even now. The 123 lakhs of leprosy patients, more than one Australian continent. And if you know what is leprosy, how it is contracted, how it goes from one to other individual, what's the portal of entry, why I haven't contracted leprosy in the 4th generation of Baba Amte working there, you'll get the Nobel Prize of Medicine, which has been eluding medical science for the last 115 years. Every disease got the prize. So we are there to treat the society and the doctors, not leprosy patient. I'm proud of Mihir, who had been there at the behest of my daughter, or perhaps my cousin, or Dr. Shekhar. Yeah, he's there. So it covers the whole spectrum, the plethora of activities. So I never go to press because I want audition to my fellow brethren who were rejected. I haven't seen cinema, as Dr. Mashelkar had said. The people were thrown out when they had gone to see the cinema, and they watched the cinema theater with the fennel. So I haven't seen cinema. There may be a couple of 4 cinemas I have seen. So our world's first therapeutic theater, launched in 1999, is known as Swara Nanda 1. We had 1,200 plus shows all over India. How many of you know that a couple of months ago, I had to go to Washington, D.C. to receive most innovative project for the solar and the hybrid energy for biogas. So my children raised money for one of the biggest biogas plants in the nation. So it's a mission with a message. It's not an orchestra. So raised 1.25 crores in one calendar year. And Tata Capital supported us with the solar power. So first smart village in India is in our place, first smart village. And we have made it to map. I showed it on the Google that Anandwan is our homeland, like kibbutz, or it's like a PLO. We made it to map, even though there is no unique identity card. So they were walking alone, and they decide to walk together. That makes the difference. And my father said, let them lose their limbs, but not their dignity. And he was a wrestler. He said, demonstrate your strength, never your weakness. So there is no family. His Holiness Dalai Lama comes there often. My parents didn't do anything for us. So His Holiness calls it the Buddhist couple of India. When JRD and his associate asked me, why do you work there? When we had option to learn anywhere on this planet, we were so richly internationally connected. We were routed through worst possible schools, that's what we worked there. So Tata Trust said, what do you want? Tathastu. I said, I want an excavator. So I had a lot of enemies. What does it mean to you, excavator? It does everything except cooking. The first Tata Hitachi excavator was with me, don't forget that. The people were coming to see the excavator. So I've been associated with Dr. Swaminathan, M.S. Swaminathan, if you heard about him. He called it scientific humanism. And my mother was first to give right to sexuality, right to companionship to leprosy patients on this planet. So we have thousands of marriages were solemnized. And we have third generation of everyone working there, because me and my wife gave them right to parenthood. That's what I never, on this side, my children are always on this side. I ask you to invite them, yes, we want a chance, and we had 1200 plus shows. Sir, first time in human history, on Deepak Karenjikar invited us to Sangeet Natya Akademi. First time in human history, leprosy patient performed in Delhi, in Song and Drama Theatre in Mumbai, in Delhi on 14th of January. Now we have been invited by the Facebook, by the Microsoft, by the Google, but they don't have a passport. So I want you to change the psyche of people. They don't have a unique identity card, and I promised them to take to US. I've been invited to Belgium and England also. So there is no embargo on dreaming. There is no embargo on dreaming. So I dreamt them to take them there. So I need support of all your people. They are not my relations. They are all drawn from all parts of India. And it's a real pleasure to meet all of you. I wish to interact with some of you, if not possible, because I have to get back tomorrow. And please keep in touch with your fellow beings. I'm proud that Mihir had come there. And I want you to come to see the most innovators of this planet. They are the last in the society. Thank you very much. All the best to you.
We were indeed privileged and honored to have had Dr. Vikas Amte as our chief guest. And we thank you, sir, for sharing the memories and experiences of a legacy that you and your family really represent. I would now be requesting Prashant Girbani, Honorary Director of PIC, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Wow. First of all, a huge thanks to Dr. Vikas Amte. Once again, please join me, put your hands together. What an honor. What an honor to stand here, to sit here, to listen to the stories from 1947 till date, and that's going to continue for a long, long time, that are helping millions of people who are neglected. Giving parenthood to a set of society that never imagined that, to a set of society who didn't have anyone to connect with, to feel part of it and feel family. Now they all feel so much part of the family that all of us outside of Anandvan feel much of a need, rightfully so, to go back and connect with it. You know, that's an amazing place that's created, and that's continuously getting enhanced out there. Sir, thank you so much for coming today and talking to us. As a tiny token of appreciation, may I request my colleague Reshma to please request Dr. Mashelkar to hand it over to Dr. Amte. Sir, it's a book. Thank you, sir. So this one is on behalf of all the Punekars and all those people here. Huge, and various laboratories and various research institutions. But here is a secret. In the last 3 years, only one institution would have got the complete day of Dr. Mashelkar. And how proud we are to have him as the president of PIC. We had it again today. We'll have him again for the entire day with PIC, and we'll continue to do that. Sir, thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Huge thanks to Mr. Umranikar. There's a great work that ILC India does with Mr. Umranikar as chairperson. My colleague, Dr. Anjali Raje, who also works there as a director. And they have been very, very supportive to the Inclusive Innovation Award and very, very involved in making it happen. My thanks also go to all the social innovators. I know that there is a whole lot more that's happening in the day, and also the CSR representatives who would be there through the day. Must mention specifically Professor Philippe, who came from Netherlands, and thank you for Dr. Shaban for getting Professor Philippe to come and attend. We also have a Chinese social innovation scholar who would be part of the Indo-China Social Innovation Exchange that's initiated by Srishti in Ahmedabad and supported by Pune International Center. So we also have the international guests attending the program today. I must thank colleagues who all worked in the background to make it happen, and some of them are even standing among all of you and who refused to sit down because they couldn't be sitting while some of you are standing. Huge thanks, Sushil. Thank you for Ameya. Thank you for Anjali. Thank you so much, Namita and Kiran, and all of you who worked behind the background to kind of make it all happen today. I must thank all of you in the audience